Hey everybody, good morning and welcome back once again to Easy English Explanation by Pooja Joshi. So, here we start with the second part of In the Kingdom of Fools, Chapter 4, Supplementary Reader of 9th Standard, Moments Book. So, let me read it out for you as usual. In the first part, we saw that it was a kingdom of fools where a guru and his disciple came and they found that everything was different in different order. The people over there, they used to work at night and awake at whole day. They were sleeping and at night they were awake, and the guru and disciple were very happy at first. Then the guru decided that they should not stay there because we should not stay with fools, in the company of fools. But disciple was very happy as they got everything, whether a measure of rice or bananas, wheat, ghee, in a single dudu, in a single rupee. He could buy many things and eat leisurely. So he ate there, he decided to stay over there, and he became very fat. So now let's see further, and let me read it out for you. The king said, okay, I will do the justice, and don't worry. And at once he called for the owner of the house. Summoned means to send, someone means to call. Send someone means to call that person. Here, call officially, that is in the court of the king. Then, when the merchant arrived, the king questioned him. What's your name? Such and such, your highness. Were you at home when the dead man burgled your house? Yes, my lord. He broke in and the wall was weak. It fell on him. The accused pleads guilty. Your wall killed this man's brother. You have murdered a man. We have to punish you. Lord, said the helpless merchant, I didn't put up the wall. It's really the fault of the man who built the wall. He didn't build it right. You should punish him. So here what happens, when the merchant came to the king's court, the king questioned him about his name, that what is your name? He answered, he told the king, highness, his name such and such. Then the king asked that, were you at home when the dead man burgled your house? The dead man was making the loot in your house. That time were you present in your house? Yes, my lord, he said, that he broke into my house and the wall was weak. So it fell on him and he was dead. So king found the merchant guilty. He found that it was the merchant's fault, that because of his house, because of the wall of his house, the thief was murdered. So the king told that he had to punish that merchant. Okay, we will punish you. Lord, said the helpless merchant, I didn't put up the wall. It's really the fault of the man who built the wall. He didn't build it right. You should punish him. Who is that? My lord, this wall was built in my father's time. I know the man. He is an old man now. He lives nearby. Then, here the explanation what happened here. The helpless merchant, who was very scared to know that he would be punished by the king. So he said that actually it is not my mistake, because it is my house, but still I haven't built the wall. The wall was built by a man, and you should punish that that mason who has built the wall. So who is that person? Then he told that wall was built in my father's time when my father was alive, and then I know the man, but he has turned to be an old man. He lives in a nearby place. The king then sent out messengers to bring in the bricklayer who had built the wall. They brought him tied hand and foot. You there, did you build this man's wall in his father's time? Yes, my lord, I did. What kind of a wall is this that you built? It has fallen on a poor man and killed him. You have murdered him. We have to punish you by death. So, when the messenger brought that man, they brought that person into the court who was the bricklayer who had built the merchant's wall. He was brought in the king's court and his hands were tied and his feet were also tied. Like a prisoner, he was brought there. Then the king summoned him, asked him that, did you build this person's house wall in his father's time, during his father's time? Then he agreed, yes, I have done. I have built the wall. Then the king was angry and he said that, what kind of wall is this that you have built? It fall on the poor thief, and he was carrying out his ancient trade and business of doing the theft, and he got killed by the wall you built. So you have murdered that thief, the robber, and we have to punish you, and your punishment will be a death punishment. As you have murdered that thief, you have to be punished. Before the king could order the execution, the poor bricklayer pleaded, please listen to me before you give orders. It is true that I built this wall and it was no good, but that was because my mind was not on it. I remember very well a dancing girl who was going up and down that street all day with her anklets jingling, and I couldn't keep my eyes or my mind on the wall I was building. You must get that dancing girl. I know where she lives. So, before the king could order the execution means to murder that poor bricklayer. He pleaded. He pleaded means he requested. He requested to the king that, please listen to me. Of course, I have built this wall and I should be punished, but listen to the fact that I built the wall and wall was no good, but there was a reason behind it. I could not concentrate on my work. And why I could not concentrate? Because there was a dancing girl who was going up and down on the street. She was going from this side to that side and that side to this side, and her anklets, her pile was making so much sound, it was jingling, and he could not keep my eyes away or mind away from the lady, that dancing girl, and he could not concentrate on building the wall. It is all because of that dancing girl. You must get that dancing girl, and I know where she lives. You are right. The case deepens. We must look into it. It is not easy to judge such complicated cases. Let's get that dancer, wherever she is. Then, you are right, the king said. This case is going on deepening. It's a very, very deep case. It's a very difficult case. It's not easy to judge this type of complicated, difficult cases. Now the king ordered that the dancing girl should be summoned or called. Let's get that dancing girl wherever she lives. The dancing girl, now an old woman, came trembling to the court. Did you walk up and down that street many years ago while this poor man was building a wall? Did you see him? Yes, my lord, I remember it very well. So, you did walk up and down with your anklets jingling. You were young and you distracted him. So, he built a bad wall. So here, when the dancing girl, he was summoned to the court, he came to the court and she was trembling. Why was she trembling? As she was now not a beautiful young girl, but she had turned into an old woman. And when the king asked that, were you walking up and down the street many years ago? So she said, yes. I remember very well that I had seen this man who was building a wall. And so you are admitting that you walked up and down and it's your mistake, because of your mistake that your jingling anklets, the poor bricklayer, he was not able to concentrate on his work, which in turn he built a very, very weak wall. And because of that wall, that poor burglar thief was dead. So you have murdered the poor thief, and now we will get you. It has fallen on the poor burglar and killed him. You have killed an innocent man. You will have to be punished. She thought for a minute and said, my lord, wait. I know now why I was walking up and down that street. I had given some gold to the goldsmith to make some jewelry for me. He was a lazy scoundrel. He made so many excuses and said that he would give it now, he would give it then, and so on all day. He made me walk up and down to his house 12 times. That was when this bricklayer saw me. It's not my fault, my lord. It's the damn goldsmith's fault. Now, what excuse did the dancer give? When the king told that she will be punished to death, then she thought for a minute and she gave the answer that yes, now I am able to remember that why do I was walking up and down the street. What was the exact reason? Actually, I had given some gold to the goldsmith to make some jewelry, and he was so lazy that he was only giving the excuses. He was calling me every now and then, and he was making false promises and not giving me my gold jewelry back to me. He made me walk up and down his house 12 times. 12 times I had to go from here to there, from my house to his house, and his house to my house. So that time the bricklayer saw me and he was distracted. But sir, it's not my fault at all. It's the goldsmith's fault. Now after bricklayer, then dancer girl, and now came the role of goldsmith. Poor thing. She's absolutely right, thought the king, weighing the evidence. We have got the real culprit at last. Get the goldsmith, wherever he is hiding, at once. Now the king thought, and he decided that the real fault is of the goldsmith, who did not give the jewelry in time of the dancer girl, who had to move up and down in that street where the bricklayer was building a wall, and because of that bricklayer built a wall which was weak, and because of the weak wall that poor thief was dead. So ultimately this goldsmith had to be punished. So get that goldsmith from wherever he is hiding. Real culprit. Culprit means the real who had done the crime. Who had done crime. That is culprit. The king's bailiffs searched for the goldsmith, who was hiding in a corner of his shop. When he heard the accusation against him, he had his own story to tell. The king's bailiffs. Bailiffs means the king sends that persons for catching hold of the criminals. They searched for the goldsmith, and goldsmith was hiding in his own shop in a corner. And he heard the accusation. He heard that what is the charge against me. Accusation means charge, or what is the crime noted down against him. Then he had his own story to be told. He told that whatever happened with him. So with this we will meet in the next session. So keep in touch with the studies. Like, subscribe and share my videos. Subscribe my channel at the earliest. Hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.